Hi everyone, welcome to today's class. Today we are going to discuss about the topic name called Mobile Telecommunication Technologies. So under Mobile Telecommunication Technologies, we are going to discuss these subtopics, that is Mobile Telecommunication Technologies, and then 1G mobile systems, FDMA, CDMA, TDMA, 2G mobile system, 3G mobile system, and 4G mobile system. So let me move on to the first topic, that is Mobile Telecommunication Technologies. In that, what is meant by mobile? Mobile, it is actually a device which is portable. That means easily we can carry from one place to another place. That's why it is called as portable. And the mobile communication is based on the cellular networks. What is cellular network? A cellular network is nothing but a radio network. In this network, land is going to be divided into areas called cells. Every cell in the network has a transmitter and a receiver known as cell site or base station. So in the network, every cell will have this transmitter and receiver, and it is called as cell site or a base station. Each cell in the network uses different frequency for the transmission of signals. So in order to transmit the signals, every cell in the network, it will use the different frequency for transmitting the signals. When these cells are joined together, it will provide a radio coverage over a large geographical area. That is, it is going to cover large geographical area when all these cells are joined together. The network of cells enables the mobile devices to communicate even if they are moving from one cell to another cell via base stations. Even when the mobile is transferred from one place to moved from one place to another place, that is from one cell to another cell also, we can able to communicate because of this networking of these cells. So cells are joined together. Because of that only, even when the mobile is transferred from one place to another place, we can able to communicate with the other persons. The last 2 decades, that is last 20 years, has seen a remarkable growth in the mobile industry, both in terms of mobile technology and also in the subscribers rate also increased, and technology wise also mobile has a lot of changes. And the first systems offering mobile telephone service were introduced in the late 1940s. So in the late 1940 and in the US, and in the early of 1950s in Europe, first mobile telephone service were introduced. And these single systems were severely constrained by restricted mobility and low capacity, limited service, and poor speech quality. The first introduced mobile systems, no, it were constrained by, that is controlled by restricted mobility. Mobility was very less in that. So even when they are moving, when the mobile phone is transferred from one place to another place, they cannot able to speech properly with other persons, and the low capacity also was there. Some service also will be very limited. uh, Poor speech quality was there in the older generation mobile telecommunication technologies. And also the equipment was very heavy and bulky, expensive also, and it was susceptible to interference. So easily it will be interfered because of the outside environmental factors. So these are some of the drawbacks of the olden days mobile systems. The use of semiconductor technology and the microprocessors made mobile systems smaller, lighter, and more sophisticated. So this semiconductor technology only, technology and the microprocessor, it made the mobile systems to be smaller and lighter, lightweight, and more sophisticated also. So first we will move on to first 1G mobile systems. 1G mobile system was introduced in late 1970s and early 1980s. The 1G mobile system, that is first generation 1G mobile system, was based on the analog cellular technology. What is meant by analog cellular technology? That is based on only voice. They were able to transmit the signals through the help of the voice only. So they only had a voice facility available and were based on the circuit switched technology. You know what is meant by circuit switching and packet switching? That is, in circuit switching, one dedicated path should be assigned before the communication taken place. So using circuits or wires, the communication channel is going to be established between the sender and the receiver before any transmissions taken place. So that is why it is known as circuit switched technology. In 1G mobile systems, voice was modulated to a frequency of about 150 megahertz and higher. They used, that is 1G, used radio towers for transmission of the signals. So these are this is an example for radio transmission towers. And 1G 2G comparisons you can see. 1G mobile systems, 2G mobile systems, and 3G, how the mobile technology has increased, 4G, and the next is 5G, 5th generation. So 1G mobile system, the major drawbacks of the 1G mobile system were its low capacity, poor voice links, and no security also. And we will see what is FDMA, CDMA, and TDMA. FDMA means frequency division multiple access. In this, each user utilizes a portion of the frequency bandwidth available. So every user will be assigned with a portion of the frequency bandwidth. So they will be using that frequency bandwidth for communication purpose. Each user has its own frequency domain. In case of the frequency division, frequency is going to be divided to every user equally for communication purpose. And CDMA, code division multiple access. Here each user is going to be allotted a unique code sequence. On the sender side, the data signal is encoded using the given unique code, and also the receiver side, it is going to be decoded. Signal is going to be decoded according to the unique code and recovers the original data. What is TDMA? Time division multiple access. So here the frequency bandwidth is allotted for users based on the timings, okay, based on time intervals. So every user is allowed to transmit only within a specified time intervals. So different users transmit in different time slots. When users transmit, they occupy the whole frequency bandwidth. So they will be allotted with the entire frequency bandwidth when they want to transmit the signals from the sender place to receiver side. Okay. So here every user is allotted with the specified time intervals. So here comparison of FDMA, TDMA, and CDMA. Here you can see the pictures. In frequency division multiple access, frequency is going to be divided for every user. For every call, the frequency is going to be divided. Everyone talks in a different room to prevent interference. Since the conversation can't be heard from another room, it can be filtered from the other by going to the other room. Okay, in this case of FDMA. And in case of TDMA, every user will be given a time slots. Within the time slot, they need to able to complete their conversation. So the conversation must be speedy. So they must talk fast to say everything. Because every person is allotted with a specific time intervals, so they need to complete quickly. And in CDMA, code division multiple access, all the conversations simultaneously will be taken place, but every conversation's language will be different. Everyone speaks a different language at the same time in the same room. Since each language is unique, so one may be filtered from the another one. So easily we can filter the one language from the other one. That is the advantage of that CDMA, code division multiple access. So what are the drawbacks of 1G mobile system? Poor battery, poor voice quality also, and larger in size, no security, and frequency call drop will occur frequently. And the next mobile generation is 2G mobile system. It was introduced in early 1990s. It used digital signals for transmission of voice. Okay. So 2G enabled mobile systems provides paging, SMS short messaging services, voicemail, and fax services. These are all the services additionally added in the 2G mobile system compared to 1G. 1G only for voice calls, they have used this 1G mobile systems. 2G little improvement was there, like paging facility, short messaging service, and then voicemail, fax services also were added with the 2G mobile system. Both voice and data conversations were digitally encrypted here in the 2G system. It was based on the GSM technology, that is Global System for Mobile Communication Technology. This is a standard which was defined by the ETSI, that is European Telecommunication Standards Institute, in 1989, and it stands for Global System for Mobile Communication. It is a combination of FDMA and TDMA, time division multiple access, and frequency division multiple access. Both technology is going to be used under this GSM. With GSM, all subscribers and wireless provider information is stored on the wireless provider information, and subscriber information is both is going to be stored on interchangeable modules known as SIM cards, that is subscriber identification module, no, all their information, the subscriber information and wireless provider information is going to be stored on this subscriber identification module cards. SIM card, it is going to be stored. And by swapping of the SIM card, users can painlessly switch phones or providers. They can easily change over to another phone because of moving out the SIM card out, and they can fix that SIM card in another phone. Like that they can do the changes in a 2G mobile system. And they use circuit switching. The 2G also use circuit switching technology only. Mobile technology using packet switched domain instead of circuit switched domain were termed as 2.5G. In 2G itself, instead of circuit switching, if the mobile technology uses this packet switching technology, it is known as 2.5 generation mobile systems. They use, that is 2.5 generation, they used GPRS, that is general packet radio service, in addition to GSM. Along with GSM, GPRS also was introduced in 2.5G generation mobile systems. It uses services like MMS, that is multimedia messaging service. Pictures we can send through that, and then sending pictures through email became possible at 2.5G mobile system. And GPRS technology was also major step towards the 3G mobile system. So slowly the GPRS technology, global general packet radio service, also was introduced towards the 3G mobile system. So here we can see the comparisons and some of the features which were introduced during 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G and all given here. In 1G, first analog mobile signal calls only was possible in 1G, and in 2G text messaging were introduced, and 2.5G pictures messages also we can send, and in 3G mobile data was introduced, that is internet we can get in a phone, and here mobile data is focused properly in 4G. Cloud storage also involved here in this 4G. So next generation is 5G, fifth generation. So in 3G mobile system, it adds multimedia facilities to 2G phones by allowing video, audio and graphic applications were allowed in case of the 3G technology. With the advent of 3G technology, watching streaming video or video telephony became a reality. So this all was achieved in 3G technology. Watching streaming video, continuous video we can watch, and voice video telephony also was possible in case of this 3G mobile systems. The idea behind the 3G is to have a single network standard instead of the different types of adopted in US, Europe and Asia. Okay, so single network only they have used in 3G system instead of different types of networks. And 3G mobile systems are also known as Universal Mobile Telecommunication System, that is UMTS or IMT 2000. They can sustain higher data rates and open the door to many internet style applications. So this 3G mobile systems, it was offering higher data rates also, and internet style application, many internet style applications are also launched during this 3G mobile system. And the main characteristics of IMT 2000 3G systems are a single family of compatible standards that can be used for worldwide for all the mobile applications. So single family of standard, compatible standard is going to be used for all the mobile applications worldwide. That is the main characteristics of this IMT. So instead of focusing on different standards for different mobile systems, mobile applications, they have formed single family of compatible standards. That is common standard they have established in case of this IMT 2000 system. And it support for both packet switched and circuit switched data transmission also. And data rates are of up to 2 Mbps was allowed in case of 3G mobile system, and high bandwidth efficiency. Bandwidth was utilized efficiently in case of 3G mobile system. And here one picture, it is related with 1G, 2G, 3G and 4G. And 4G mobile system. 4G networks will be based on the packet switching only. So 3G was allowing both packet switching and circuit switching. Here 4G is fully based on the packet switching only. It will be able to support the faster transmission. They are projected to provide speeds of up to 100 Mbps to 1 Gbps while stationary. So when we are in moving condition, in that case 100 Mbps of data can be transmitted. But when we are in stationary, when we are stable in one place, we can able to transfer of data up to 1 gigabits per second. It is wireless access technology, and 4G can provide better than TV quality images and video links. So these are the comparison, that is speed wise 1G is little slow and then 2G, so it's compared to 1G it is okay, and then 3G little speed and 4G is higher speed. So like that, the data transmission rate is varying from 1G to 4G. That is here for 2.4 kilobits per second data only we can transmit. Here 64 kilobits per second data we can transmit in 2G, and here 2000 kilobits per second, here 1 lakh kilobits per second we can transmit in 4G. And these are the comparisons based on the features like start, development, which year it was started, and the technology what used in this 1G to 5G, and then frequency, how much frequency is allowed here, and bandwidth, then access system, which kind of access system. We have studied 3 types of access system, FDMA, CDMA and TDMA, which is used in every generation, also given here. And then core network, which network was used in order to transmit the signals. In 4G and 5G, if you consider, only internet was used. Here packet network, and here public switched telephone network in 1G and 2G. And wireless mobile communication protocols. Some of the wireless mobile communication protocols we need to look at here. That is GSM, Global System for Mobile Communication. It was developed by European Telecommunication Standards Institute in the year 1989. We have seen already, and it is used to describe the protocols for second generation digital cellular networks used by mobile devices such as mobile phones and tablets. So for mobile phones and tablets, it is going to describe which kind of protocols need to be used, and a digital circuit switched network. So this is the structure of the GSM network. For telephonic calls, they have used public switched telephonic network. This is circuit switched one, and everything is based on this base stations only, because from mobile anything want to be transmitted to another part of the country or state, no. So everything is transmitted, all the signals are going to be transmitted via this base receiver, transceiver station and base station controller. Through this only everything is possible. Okay, this is an example diagram for the GSM network, and here SIM card and phone, with the help of these two devices only we can able to communicate with the other persons. Here internet, and through internet, no, we can transfer the data from one particular server. We can upload or download the data from server to our computer. Okay, all these are possible with the help of this GSM network only. Next is wireless mobile communication protocol, General Packet Radio Service, GPRS. It is a packet oriented mobile data standard on the 2G or 3G cellular communication network, global system for mobile communications. It was developed by same ETSI, and it is now maintained by third generation partnership project, that is 3GPP is only maintaining this GPRS, General Packet Radio Service. So it supports two for protocols, that is internet protocol and point-to-point protocol. These two protocols already we discussed in the network protocols topic, and here GPRS links are there, and GPRS network is there. Using GPRS gateway through internet we can transmit the information from one place to another place. And wireless in local loop, this is another protocol. It is a wireless local telephone service that can be provided in homes or offices. In homes or offices we can use this local telephone service. Here the subscribers connect to their local exchange instead of the central exchange wirelessly. Only in local exchange the subscribers can exchange the information instead of depending on the central exchange, no, they will go for local exchange. And Wi-Fi, wireless technologies under, we are going to see this Wi-Fi and WiMAX and all. So wireless fidelity is the full form of this Wi-Fi. It is a protocol governs the rules to connect the internet without a direct line from your PC to the ISP. So our PC is not going to be directly connecting to ISP, internet service provider. It is going to be connected through some with the help of some devices, some networking devices. We will see what and all need to be there for connecting our PC to Wi-Fi. So in order to make the Wi-Fi to work, we need a broadband internet connection from a proper internet service provider, and wireless router which relays your internet connection, that is which forwards your internet connection from the wall, that is ISP, to the PC, and then laptop or desktop with the wireless internet cord or external wireless adapter. we need to obtain internet connection, then wireless router we need to fix at the wall, and then with the wall, no, from the wall that wireless router will be transmitting the getting the signals from the ISP, and then it will be transferred to a PC. That PC need to be enabled with the, our laptop need to be enabled with wireless internet cord, or external wireless adapter need to be there for getting the internet connection. Next, Wi-Fi hotspot. A hotspot is a venue that offers Wi-Fi access. The public can use the laptop or Wi-Fi phone or other suitable portable devices like tab to access the internet through the Wi-Fi hotspot. It is actually a venue that offers Wi-Fi access. Next one is WiMAX. Worldwide interoperability for microwave access is a family of wireless broadband communication standards based on the IEEE 802.16 set of standards, which provide multiple physical layer and media access control options. This is also one of the wireless internet access. So through that we can able to cover a maximum distance, at least city wise we can cover the area in order to provide the internet. And uses of WiMAX. It provides portable mobile broadband connectivity across cities and countries through the various devices, providing wireless alternative to cable and digital subscriber line for last mile broadband access. Provide data telecommunication services, that is voice over IP services, data services also provided by this WiMAX. And it provides internet connectivity as part of a business continuity plan, and smart grids and metering also. These are the advantages or uses of the WiMAX. Thank you. With this, we will end up the today's class. So with this, mobile telecommunication technologies topics are going to get over, and next class we will see some other new topic which is the last topic in your network syllabus. Thank you once again.